When I first picked up The Darkness 2 for my Xbox 360 back in the day, I could immediately tell how different it was going to be. Some things felt a lot better, and some things just didn't sit quite right with me. But it did deepen my appreciation for the IP and make me want to dive into the comic books a lot more. Let's talk about it. The Darkness 2 picks up 2 years after the first one, and Jackie hasn't used the darkness since then. The game opens with him sitting down at a restaurant that immediately gets attacked and Jackie gets injured. You shoot at the rival gang as you're being dragged away, and eventually you unleash the darkness. Now you have to find out who attacked you and why. You get a lead that the guys who got paid for the hit are holed up in some brothel called Brimstone. Ominous name. At the brothel, you get caught, nailed to a cross, and flooded with light. That's when the game's big bad reveals himself. He's the leader of an organization called the Brotherhood, and they want the darkness for themselves so they can use it to control the world. Not only that, but they've made it personal by attacking your penthouse and killing a bunch of your people. Now, it's up to you to take them all out. The first thing you'll notice about this game is the art style, which is very different from the first game. The first game had a more grounded, and I hate this word when referencing games, but I'm going to use it anyway, realistic art style. This one goes for a more cel-shaded look, probably in an attempt to make the game more comic accurate. I do like it better, but I can't say I like the model for Jackie. I think it's the hair, it just looks weird. But anyway, that's not all that's different. Gameplay in the sequel versus gameplay in the first one is night and day. This one does things differently in just about every way. And that makes sense because, unlike the first one, which is developed by Starbreeze Studios, this one was developed by Digital Extremes. Still published by 2K, though. This one puts a lot more emphasis on your darkness powers as opposed to your guns. Guns are still there. You've got pistols, SMGs, shotguns, and assault rifles, and they all feel pretty good to use, but those pale in comparison to the amount of darkness powers you can get over the course of the game. The darkness arms are still the most basic, but they're what you'll probably use most, and they're far more effective than they were in the first game. You can use them to grab and throw things at enemies, sometimes slicing them in half or impaling them depending on what you're throwing, or grab a car door or something else and use it as a shield, slice through power cables to open a locked door, and so much more. You can also grab enemies and throw them at other enemies, or do different types of executions that when upgraded can give you health and ammo. You can also get the ability to let loose a swarm of insects, which stuns enemies, darkness guns, which increase your damage output with your guns, darkness armor, which basically doubles your maximum health, and so many more things. You can also upgrade your guns to be able to hold more ammo, reload faster, and fire explosive shells. Each time you kill an enemy, you get XP. At specific spots throughout the game, you can spend XP on any one of these various upgrades. There are different skill trees for different things, and each upgrade in a given tree costs more than the last, so sometimes you'll have to rack up a lot of XP before you can afford the thing you want. I usually go for darkness armor as fast as I can, and then go for the ammo upgrades before working on other things. Hidden throughout the game are various relics. Each one you find grants you 300 XP, so they're definitely worth trying to find. You can also look at them and read descriptions of them in your penthouse in between levels. Yeah, your penthouse is the game's hub world now, except instead of being able to go pretty much anywhere from it like you could with the subway stations in the first game, you just go here in between levels. You can walk around here as much as you want and explore and talk to people, but there really isn't ever much to do here. There are no side quests like there were in the first game, nothing to go out of your way for outside of the main quest. I definitely preferred the subway stations. They offered more freedom. It would have been nice if some people in your penthouse had things for you to do from time to time, even if it was just some fetch quest, something for you to find during the next level, but they don't. Outside of a few scripted events and the ability to look at and get lore about the relics you found, there really is no reason to ever come here, but you have to anyway. But the penthouse is the only place where you can roam around freely. In the first game, you could go pretty much anywhere at any time, and the side quests and even main quests often took you back to places you've already been a few times. But outside of the penthouse, everything is pretty linear. Go from point A to point B, look for relics in between. It's not anywhere near as interesting, and you don't get to carry your guns with you in between levels, which I hate and can't think of one good single reason for. I mean, they come up with story reasons for it, but still, it's from a gameplay perspective, it's very annoying. Light also plays a much bigger role in the game. In the first game, when you were in light, it was basically fine, except that you couldn't use your darkness powers and you were kind of made out of wet tissue paper. But in this game, being in the light completely fucks you. Best case scenario, you lose your darkness powers, including darkness armor if you have it, and your screen goes grayscale and sounds get muffled like you're underwater. Worst case scenario, you can't see or hear a single thing. The light will actually blind you, and you'll hear a loud ringing like you've got tinnitus. This gets especially annoying when enemies pop up with giant flashlights that shine right in your face. Taking them out can be rough when you can barely even see them. Couple that with these guys who can whip your guns away from you, and sometimes you can be left entirely defenseless, which is bullshit. They tend to be bullet sponges too, so that's fun. Other enemies throw light grenades at you, and if you get caught in them, it basically has the same effect. Some enemies have a sort of darkness armor of their own, which makes them even more bullet spongy. Some of them carry shields, which also have darkness armor, and once you knock out the armor, you can grab the shield with your darkness arm and cut them in half with it, which is good times. Your health meter has 4 sections, and health will regenerate up to the full section that you're on, but eating hearts will heal you, and so will executions if you upgrade them. The only one to reprise their role in this game is Mike Patton, returning to voice the Darkness once again, because, let's face it, he's fucking perfect. Jackie and everyone else in the game have different voice actors. I like the first game's voice actor for Jackie better, whose last name I can't pronounce, so here it is on screen. This game's voice acting isn't bad by any stretch, but it's different enough to be very noticeable. I also like the first game's music better. Combat had this metal soundtrack to it that was a lot of fun to listen to while you were playing. This one's music is more like a movie score. It's pretty decent and it's enjoyable enough, but again, different and noticeably so. It really just comes down to personal preference for me. There are some licensed tracks that play at various points throughout the game, sometimes on a radio or sometimes at key story moments, and that's always fun. I'm not going to talk about the game's ending here just in case you haven't actually played the game, but I will say that it does end on this cliffhanger, and I've been waiting for a third game in the series for quite some time now. Make it happen, 2K, and give us a PC port of the first one while you're at it. Overall, I think I like the first one a bit better than this one, but that doesn't mean I don't like this one. There are certainly things I don't like about it, like not being able to carry your guns over from mission to mission, or the kinda useless penthouse in between missions, but I like the way the guns work, I love the way the darkness arms work, and I really enjoy using a lot of the powers the game gives you. This one does have a PC port that you can get on Steam, and it's probably a better experience being able to play it with keyboard and mouse rather than having to rely on control stick aiming. But either way, it's good times, and I think you should play it if you're a fan of the comic books or just a fan of first-person shooters with supernatural elements. I've heard there's a new run of Darkness comic books coming out soon as well, so I'm pretty excited for that. So that's The Darkness 2. I have a pretty great time with it every time I play it, even though some parts frustrate the hell out of me sometimes. Let me know your thoughts down in the thing. The poll for the next game is in the tab where polls go. I always forget what they're calling it because it was called one thing and then it was called something else. But I actually really want to talk about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines since 2 is coming out soon, which I have thoughts about, but I'm trying not to pass too much judgment until I actually play the damn game. So there will be a Bloodlines video out soon, and then I'll do a video on Bloodlines 2 as soon as I can. I also have another video coming out real soon that I can't talk about right now, but keep an eye out, it's going to be really cool. If you want to join the Discord where we talk about physical media, video games, movies, comic books, and all kinds of other cool shit, the link is down there somewhere. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.